And we are live here from Dover International Speedway. This is the Monster Mile, and it's going to be a monster here tonight in the booth. Working the race with me tonight is Justin Rose, now back in the saddle again for some short track action here on ETV Live. And we're live on Channel 1 here tonight. And I tell you what, Justin, I don't know a whole lot about these cars, but the way it's been explained to me, it's more like putting a 2000 bull between your legs and hanging on.
Exactly, JD. It is great to be back in the saddle with you. These cars are basically like a sprint car, but a little bit on steroids for these big oval tracks like we have tonight here at Dover, JD. These cars are right around 650 to 700 horsepower, and they were built to really haul the mail on these asphalt tracks, JD.
You bet. And we're getting real close to gridding here tonight. Of course, this is the Triple Crown Season 3 in the iRacing Official Series. This is sponsored by Double Clutch, Eddie Walczyk and his boys. And I'll tell you what, they put on some fantastic shows with this Triple Crown, the sprint car, and the Tour Modifieds here in the iRacing service. So looking for some good action here at Dover tonight. 75 laps. There are no cautions here, Cowboy. And when you come to race here in these Silver Crowns, you bring what you got to run, and that's it. So no flagman here tonight. The only guy working is the one up in the booth, or up on the flag stand with that green flag and the checker flag, and that's it. So as we get ready to run here, let's work them down through the grid. Starting out on the pole, Jeffrey Mays in that number 4 machine. On the outside of him, and number 5, Justin, Thomas Wargula.
Starting on the inside of row number 2 is going to be the number 2 of Paul Williams, and starting on the outside in the 4th spot is going to be Brett Reynolds.
And Ryan Steele, he'll be starting in 5th position on the inside in that number 3 machine. In the number 1 car, I've seen this cowboy before, Vinny Sansone on the outside.
Inside row number 4 in the 7th spot is going to be the number 14 of Marcus Dean, and starting to the outside of him is going to be the number 17 of George Hagan.
Brett Waldrop, he'll be starting in that number 7 machine in the 9th position on the inside. Outside him in the number 15, Ian Seeley.
Inside row number 6 is going to be the 12 car of Daniel Muse. Starting the outside of him, somebody I've raced a lot with recently. He's a really good guy, Ray Farlow.
Matt Orr, he'll be driving that number 8 machine tonight in 13th on the inside. Outside him, Leela Wilson in the number 10 car.
As the pace car gets ready to pull off, JD is going to be in the 15th spot, Joseph Smith in the 11th, Ronald Williams in 16th, Denny Clark 17th, and rounding out the field is going to be Joshua Jewell.
I'll tell you what, hang on to your hat, Cowboy, because these Cowboys are ready to let these ponies loose here at Dover Speedway. 75 laps on the board here tonight as they bring them around off of turn 4, and Jeffrey Mays gets the jump on the rest of the field. Thomas Wargula asleep at the wheel, Cowboy, but I'll tell you what, look down at the bottom here. Paul Williams taking over that number 2 spot early.
Side by side for the 5th spot, Ryan Steele in the 3 cars right under Vinny Sansone. He's going to take the spot coming out of 2. Coming down this backstretch, we're all single file until we get back to about the 9th or 10th spot with Brett Waldrop in the 7 car and Ian Seeley. These guys are looking to get their spots really early, JD.
Brett Reynolds up here, 4th position, was up in 4th. He just got passed by a couple of Cowboys up here. That's going to be Thomas Wargula out in front of him, and the 4 Vinny Sansone. But absolutely right, getting these positions, got to get them early here. And I tell you what, these cars, from what's been explained to me, these cars are tough to handle at any given track. So as we see right in front of Leela Wilson, 10th position here, Ian Seeley up here in the 15 car, really squirrely coming off the turns here a little bit. Really loose conditions here at Dover for tonight.
These guys are side by side for the 9th and 10th spot. You got a car almost up in the wall. The number 5 car, Thomas Wargula, he's really off the pace and he keeps falling back. He's outside the top 10 now, JD.
As we put 4 laps in the books here at Dover International Speedway, I tell you what, the Monster Mile, and it'll reach out to grab you if you're not careful here. Let's take it up to 12th position, watching Matt Orr here. A couple of guys in front of him, Wargula and Daniel Moose kind of duking it out here. Oh, Wargula gets squirrely off of turn 4 down the front stretch and stays on the bottom down there. Matt Orr up on the top side trying to make it work. Can't hook it up, though, as Wargula is going to get a little bit squirrely coming off of turn 2 even. Down the back stretch, looks like the 8 machine looking on the inside. Wargula goes to the top side, or looking at the bottom here. going to get the position coming off of turn 2.
Looking like we're side by side here almost for the second spot. Vinny Sansone, he's tucked up right behind the 3 car of Ryan Steele. They're right there nose to tail getting into 3. Vinny Sansone, he's going to take a look as the number 3 car gets a little bit loose. They're going to try to swap positions. We're going to have a crossover here, JD, pretty quick.
And I'll tell you what, these guys lickety-split around Dover Speedway here. Watching Marcus Dean back here, 7th position. You know, just about every one of these cars that I've been looking at here all night, getting a little bit squirrely coming off the turns. Don't know how many laps it takes for these cars to come in, but this is not like putting a cup car out here on the track. These cars are short wheelbase, lots of horsepower, and like I said, it's like putting a 2000 bull between your legs and just hanging on for dear life. But Brett Walter up here, 6th position in that number 7 machine. And these guys, you know, almost looks like these guys are starting to get it ironed out here a little bit, except for when you get up to 3rd position. Vinny Sansone on the move, Cowboy. Sansone taking a look at Ryan Steele up here at that number 3 machine. The 3 is going to stay high. Sansone's looking here on the bottom, looking to take that position away from Ryan Steele, and he's going to get it coming down the backstretch. So move Vinny Sansone up 1 notch, and he's going to run down Jeffrey Mays here, lickety-split.
But don't count out that 4 car right behind Ryan Steele. He's inching up right on Ryan Steele's back tail of the tail tank there. These cars, JD, they are really, really tough. You got to steer them with the throttle when you drive these cars. These are cars not like the Cup cars where you turn them with the steering wheel. You really, really got to control them with your throttle. And then as we say that, Ryan Steele's pulling away from the 4 car, and he's inching right up on the tail tank of Vinny Sansone.
Yeah, and I meant to say Sansone's going to chase down Paul Williams up there, actually looking at the wrong numbers. But I'll tell you what, does it really make that much of a difference? These cars haul ass around this track, and they are putting on a pretty good show here tonight. This is a Triple Crown Series, like I said, being sponsored by Double Clutch, Eddie Walczyk and his group. $2,500 purse on the line here tonight. $1,750 of it for the trifecta. And that's the champion that wins all 3 series. That's the Sprint Car Series, the Silver Crown, and of course the Tour Modifieds that will be broadcasted as well during the series. So a chunk of dough on the line for any one of these guys tonight, Justin.
Exactly. Back here for the 8th, 9th, and 10th spot, we got the 15 of Ian Seeley, Daniel Muse, and Brett Reynolds. These guys are swapping positions like we're at a restrictor plate race, guys. I'm telling you something right now. This is going to get really hairy with these guys abusing them right rears coming through the center of the corner and out. It's going to be amazing to see who keeps the car glued under them as the race wears on.
Matt Orr, he's back here with that group. He's taking a look on the inside of the 14 machine. That's going to be Marcus Dean up there in front of him, but has to get off the throttle a little bit early. Going to take the 8 machine up wide in a turn here. You know, it's hard to tell right now where the best place to race is on this track here at Dover, but I tell you, these guys have been up and down on both ends of the speedway, up on the high side, up down on the bottom. I think they're kind of searching around looking for that best racing groove here at Dover. But right now, Matt Orr is kind of backed off the 14. As the 14 makes a little contact with the apron down there, that's kind of no man's land at this track.
I want to point out we had a lead change. Vinny Sansone in the 1 car. He gets around Paul Williams, and Paul Williams is falling back into the clutches of Ryan Steele in the 3 car. Steele, he's looking to the outside, maybe looking to pull the crossover out of 2, but the 4 car right behind him, Jeffrey Mays, he's inching right up on the tail tank of Ryan Steele as well. These guys are nose to tail through 3 and 4. Ryan Steele, he's looking to the outside. Jeffrey Mays, he's looking to take advantage of any mistake that Ryan might make going into 1 and 2. JD, these guys are certainly going to look to make it 3 wide here, possibly coming out of 2. Ryan Steele looking low. We might have a pass going into 3, but Jeffrey Mays, he's going to try to shut the door on the outside, but just can't quite get it done, JD.
I'll tell you what, that's quite a battle going on up here for 3rd and 4th, even second, 3rd, and 4th up here. And Leela Wilson in 5th place. She's dropped quite a, I think that's a she. It's a pink car. So almost 3.5 seconds in back of the leaders there. Wilson and the number 10 machine trying to hook it up, and you know, I don't know whether it's just cruise control time until we get down to the wire, or what she's doing. But Leela Wilson up here in the number 10 machine, keeping all 4 wheels pointed in the right direction. 75 laps on the board, 19 in the books here at Dover Speedway. So I tell you what, let's go back a couple of more notches here. Danny Muse, now he's about 5, almost 6 seconds off the pace. So a lot of these guys dropping back quickly. Don't know if this is a setup or if they're just kind of biding their time here. In the meantime, Vinny Sansone out in front. He's getting into some lap traffic now. Going to come around the 18 of Joshua Jewell, put Jewell down 1 lap. So looks like Sansone already setting sail here at Dover.
Most definitely. I just do want to point out Paul Williams, he's falling back to 4th, and his car's going away a little bit on him. I've noticed he's got a really bad hospital wiggle when the 3 and the 4 car passed him here just a couple laps ago. But battle's heating up there for a spot, the number 9, Brett Reynolds and Ian Seeley. These guys are closing back in on each other as Ian Seeley gets a good run coming out of 2. He's starting to inch towards that tail tank of the number 9 car. Look for him to possibly make some noise here in about a lap or 2.
And Ryan still gets a position here over, I think that was Jeffrey Mays down here in the 4 machine fighting back on the bottom here now. The 3 car a little bit squirrely coming off of, I believe that was turn 2 down the backstretch. But I'll tell you what, it's quite a bit of difference here between times. Let's talk about the top 3 for Sansone, Ryan Steele, Jeffrey Mays. They're all pretty much about 0.8 of a second or so within each other. But then you got to drop it back to the number 2 of Paul Williams. He's about 1.5 seconds off the leaders up there. He's kind of running by himself because about 4 seconds, almost about 3.5 seconds back from him is number 10 of Leela Wilson. So again, I don't know if these guys back here in the back are just kind of biding their time here, letting the tires kind of wear down evenly, or were these guys up here in front too much too soon? I really don't know yet. It's hard to tell with only 24 laps in the books here at Dover Speedway. Something I want to remind you about, though, this is the Triple Crown Series. You can watch it live on ETV Live on Wednesdays and Thursday nights, or you can check the broadcast calendar at etv-eplay.net. We're covering all 3 series on different days and different times, so you want to make sure and check that broadcast calendar for the next race. But we've even got a couple of doubleheader nights coming up. I believe it's the Sprint Cars and Silver Crowns on the 15th and on the 29th. This month, so you don't want to miss that. But in the meantime, Vinny Sansone, Justin, he's all but checked out on the field here. Ryan Steele about 0.4 behind him. So with 26 laps in the book, we still got a lot of racing left to do here.
But don't count out Ryan Steele and Jeffrey Mays. They've cut almost 0.5 second into that lead, and Ryan Steele is still reeling in your leader, Vinny Sansone, as he takes almost a full 0.2 out of Vinny Sansone. Vinny's car might be going away, only 26 laps into the books here, about to complete lap 27. Coming up on halfway here, I got to point out, JD, lap traffic will probably have a lot to say because Vinny's car slowed down a lot after dealing with that lap traffic the last go-around.
Yeah, and lap down cars are going to be the 16 of Denny Clark, the 13 machine of Ronald Williams, Ray Farlow in the 6th machine, and Joshua Jewell in the number 18. All have gone down a lap. Matt Orr will be the next one in line. He's 12.5 seconds off the leaders up here. That's about half a lap or so here at Dover Speedway. But Ryan Steele has closed the distance on Sansone up here in front. In 2nd position at number 3 machine as he gets right on the the tail cone of the number 1 car up here. Jeffrey Mays is right there also, so this may be a threesome before the night is over here at Dover, as looks like Ryan Steele gets a little bit squirrely coming off the turn, but right now they're just nose to tail going through turn 2 here.
These guys are tail tank to tail tank, and you swear these guys are racing for the $1,700 tonight, JD. These guys are all sitting there within less than a car length of each car. Ryan Steele, he gets a little bit of loose out of 4, it gives the advantage to Jeffrey Mays right behind him. Jeffrey Mays looking to the inside, but Steele shuts the door on him. Steele looking to the inside now, crossing over out of 2 on your leader, Sansone. These guys are changing lanes left and right. These guys are going at it like they're going for the big money tonight, JD.
You bet. And this is the stuff I love to see. I mean, I live to see these short track races and these sprint cars and the modifieds, the late model stuff. To me, that's the down-home countrified type of racing that needs to be broadcasted. And I'm glad we were able to put this deal together with Eddie Walczyk and get this Triple Crown Series on the air. This is a ton of fun, Cowboy. And I'll tell you what, Vinny Sansone, Steele, and Mays just showing everybody how it's done up here in front. But hey, let's not count out some of these guys in the back. Paul Williams in the number 2 machine. He's about let's call it 2.4 seconds back of the leaders up here. Brett Waldrop in that number 7 car. He's about 4.5 seconds in back of Williams right now. But this thing ain't over yet, Cowboy, and it could be anybody's night, with these Silver Crown cars.
4 laps to halfway, and Steele's car is looking like it's getting a little bit away from him. Mays tucked up right on the tail tank, looking slightly to the inside, going into turn number 3. Mays, he's going to try to keep it pinned right down next to the apron as they get that strong drive coming out of turn 4. Steele looks like he gets the advantage that time over Mays. These guys are still going at it, tail tank to tail tank. Who knows how this is going to work out here as we get close to halfway here.
You've had 35 laps in the books here at Dover already, 75 on the board. Lap traffic ahead, staying up out of the way. And this is a threesome up here battling it out with Mays, Steele, and Sansone up here. But I tell you what, Ryan Steele just riding on the back end of that number 1 car up there, Sansone. It's just a matter of time here, Cowboys. The 3 car gets a little squirrely coming off the turn. Down the backstretch we go into turn number 3. And I tell you what, Ryan Steele is just running down that number 1 of Sansone here up in front. Leela Wilson got passed by Thomas Wargula here about a couple of laps ago. Leela Wilson in that number 10 machine in that pink and green car down there. We got to get a Kodak moment on that number 10 machine. That's a pretty looking car. But I'll tell you, what a race here at Dover. I love this short track stuff here tonight. And I'll tell you, Jeffrey Mays, Ryan Steele, and Sansone putting on a hell of a show up here in front.
As we're getting ready to complete the halfway lap here, Vinny Sansone, he's got the lead right now. We're right on the tail tank, looking to the outside a little bit. Getting into turn 3 is going to be Ryan Steele, and Jeffrey Mays, he's trying to give Steele all that he can handle. Mays looking to the inside, shuts the door. Steele, he closes the door and gets a good run on a Sansone. We are halfway this time by Vinny Sansone. He's your leader. Ryan Steele's in second. Jeffrey Mays in the 4 car, he's in third. In number 2 car, Paul Williams, he's hanging strong, about 2.5 seconds back. He's in 4th. Rounding out your top 5 is going to be Brett Waldrop in the 7 car. As the leaders are going by lap traffic again here, the 6th place is going to be Brett Reynolds, 7th Marcus Dean, 8th is going to be Ian Seeley, 9th is going to be Thomas Wargula, 10th is going to be Daniel Muse. And outside the top 10, your final 6 competitors on the track tonight, going to be Leela Wilson in the 11th. 12th is going to be Matt Orr. 13th going to be Denny Clark. 14th, Ronald Williams. He's a lap down. Ray Farlow and Joshua Jewell are going to round out your field. They are 2 laps back, JD.
And I'll tell you what, doing all they can to keep their machines on the track and the tires on the ground and pointed in the right direction. But duking it out here, of course, this is just the first race of the Triple Crown Series here tonight. So 12 weeks of some pretty awesome stuff here, short track style. But Vinny Sansone holding down the lead out here in front. Looks like Steele might have, he's still got the pressure going on, but it's not like boiling over yet. I don't suppose that'll come until a little bit later on in the race. But I tell you what, if you're into bull riding, strap one of these on, Cowboy, and take one of these for a ride. 800 horsepower or 750 horsepower or so. I'll tell you what, tucked between your legs, and as I understand it, there's no transmissions in these things. It's go or no go.
These cars actually have a creeper gear, and then they have direct drive final gear. So it's going to be just a little gear to get off the line, as they do have their own starters in these cars, JD. The only battle shaping up right now on the track is for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd spot. Everybody else is pretty much single file and sorted out here. But Vinny Sansone, he's got Ryan Steele, again, looking to the outside a little bit in turns 3 and 4. Jeffrey Mays right behind him, still trying to get that run on the inside, but not quite getting it done. These guys are going to light the fuse here and throw the dynamite in the wind here in just about 20 laps or so, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, while they're doing that, why don't we go ahead and step away. Let's take a real quick commercial break. Maybe we can bring it to you side by side so you don't miss a darn thing here from Dover. You're watching live, ETV Live, Cowboy, so don't wander off. We'll be right back. If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy. And we are back here at the Monster Mile, Dover, Delaware. And I'll tell you what, this is Silver Crown action, short track style tonight. Vinny Sansone out in front with Ryan Still and Jeffrey Mays. Mays and Still have been chasing down Vinny Sansone for about the last 20 or 30 laps here or so. 53 laps into the race, 75 on the board. Sitting in the booth with me tonight, making his comeback, Justin Rose now, calling the action here for you tonight on ETV Live. But I'll tell you what, watching these Cowboys up front here, Ryan Still, Sansone all over the track coming off that last turn in number 1 machine. I got to think that the tires are probably starting to come into these things, get a little bit loose. But Ryan Still staying right with Sansone up here in front. Jeffrey Mays watching those two go at it. He's just waiting for one of them to make a mistake so Jeffrey Mays can get up there in front. Running in 4th position back here, the number 2 machine of Paul Williams. He's been able to creep up ever so slowly. He's only 1 second back of Vinny Sansone right now. He's about 0.8 of a second back of Jeffrey Mays up there in 3rd. So Brett Reynolds back here in the number 9 machine, running in 5th position. He's almost 8 seconds off the lead up here. So I tell you what, looks like Paul Williams, Justin, has snuck up upon these guys. And he may be a threat up here before the night's over.
That may exactly be. The battle's getting heated up, though, for 7th, 8th, and 9th spot here. Marcus Dean, Thomas Wargula, Ian Seeley. These guys are trading slide jobs and shutting the door on it like they're going for $100,000 at the Knoxville Nationals, JD. I just watched Thomas Wargula get shoved down on the apron here just about a lap or two ago here as Wargula creased back up on the tail tank of the 14 of Marcus Dean. Wargula, he's looking low. 14, Marcus Dean, he shuts the door coming out of 2.
I'll tell you what, Wargula, he's taking a look everywhere he goes, up, down, anywhere he can find a place to try to put that machine in. Wargula down here running in the number 5 machine in 8th position. But in the meantime, out in front, it's still Paul Williams, Jeffrey Mays, Ryan Still, Vinny Sansone holding down the fort out there in front. But for how long, Cowboy? 58 laps in the books here at Dover, as we are on the short side of the stick here now. But I'll tell you, can Sansone hang on to this lead forever or what? But I'll tell you, Paul Williams, about 4 or 5 laps ago, he kind of snuck in on him. So he is a contender up here with Mays and Steele, looking at Sansone's position out there in front.
Coming up on 16 laps to go here, Sansone, he's shutting the door on Ryan Steele. Ryan Steele looks to the outside coming out of 2. Lap traffic will be a factor as there's 2 cars ahead of the leaders right now on the backstretch getting into turn 3. The battle for these top 4 spots is really going to heat up as they're passing the 12 car. That's Daniel Muse. These guys are going to go tooth and nail to the finish here as we got 15 laps to go, JD.
Daniel Muse goes down a lap for the first time here tonight to the leaders. That's Daniel in the 12 machine going past back there. But I'll tell you what, these Cowboys, I think they know. They're probably talking to their spotters. They know how many laps are left. And, it's time to put the throttle down and get the move on up here. Vinny Sansone, there's no mirrors on these cars, so he can't see what's coming behind him. So I'll tell you what, Ryan Steele, he's been doing a fine job just staying right with them, not getting in a big hurry, but he's not letting Sansone get away at all. And, you know, to me, that number 3 machine, he's just kind of picking them up, putting them down, making his marks, and doing it right. So he's just waiting for that last probably, you know, 6-7 lap effort here at the end of the race to let them all hang out. In the meantime, Jeffrey Mays back here in the number 4 machine. He's watching both those guys up there in front, hoping one of them's going to make a mistake here. Mays as well. He's been watching him for a couple of laps. He's getting in and off almost expertly every time he goes around this thing. So you know, he's got his marks. He gets it when he hits them when he gets into the turn. He's very smooth in the turn, inside the turn, very smooth off the turn. So I got a funny feeling Mays, he may have something for these guys up front. But also Paul Williams. So let's talk about him for a minute. The number 2 machine. He snuck up in here about 6-7 laps ago. So Paul Williams spent the better part of the race just kind of on cruise control. Now he's taking a look at the back end of that number 4 machine and figuring out a way to get around that one.
Coming up this time by 10 laps to go. The battle is on for the top 4. Vinny Sansone, he's out by a 10th over Ryan Steele. Lap car Rafe Barlow, he stays out of the way, does a good job to the leaders. I tell you right now, as they're going side by side for the lead entering 3, Sansone, he shuts the door on Steele. Steele digging deep, he gets that drive coming out of 4. 9 laps to go this time by, looking to the inside, going into 1.
And here we go. I tell you what, Sansone up there on the top, he's going to give the lead up. Ryan Steele moves to the front. Here comes Jeffrey Mays on the bottom. He's going to go after Steele up, or Sansone up here on the top. And the number 4 is going to get the position. So now it's going to be Ryan Steele and Jeffrey Mays 1 and 2 as Sansone moves to the back of the field in 3rd position. Paul Williams is right there too in that red number 2 machine of his. He's just got about maybe a 10th off of the number 1 machine of Sansone up here. Ryan Steele to the front with Jeffrey Mays following in 2nd. Sansone moves to 3rd.
I don't think anybody has anything for Ryan Steele. Ryan Steele, he's pulling away from your 2nd place car in Jeffrey Mays. I think he saved his tires being right up behind the tail tank of Vinny Sansone. I think these two are going to be running away from 4th, 5th, and 6th, but don't count out that 2 car of Paul Williams. He's sitting there as Jeffrey Mays goes to the high side. He goes from 2nd all the way back to 4th in 1 corner. The 2, he's looking to the inside of Vinny Sansone. Sansone, he shuts the door going into turn 1 as they're coming through turn 2 now. The 2, Paul Williams, he's looking again to the inside as we're getting into 3, JD. Coming up on 5 laps to go.
Ryan Steele's 21.4s to Vinny Sansone's 21.6s. Don't know that Sansone's going to have enough to get there or not. But in the meantime, the number 2 machine moved up 1 more notch. That was due to Jeffrey Mays here slipping back a couple of notches. But Paul Williams in that red number 2 machine now trying to put the pressure on that number 1. Vinny Sansone up here, I'll tell you what, Cowboy, after leading pretty much all of the laps here at Dover for the night, he's now taking 2nd seat to Ryan Steele, and Ryan Steele is just basically checked out.
He's gone for the night here as we're coming up on 3 laps to go here as we cross the start-finish line the next time by. Vinny Sansone, he's pulling out a nice little 1 or 2 car length edge over the 2 and Paul Williams. Jeffrey Mays, he's falling back. Paul Williams, though, he's digging deep and charging it. He's got it down to about a car length and a half now going into 1. The 2, Paul Williams, he's looking down low. Sansone, he drifts up. Don't know if that's going to cost him a little bit coming down the backstretch, JD, coming up on 2 laps to go.
I'll tell you what, Sansone took a heck of a gamble here about 3 or 4 laps ago when he swung wide. And I'll tell you what, fighting back for everything it's worth now here. But number 2, Paul Williams, he's looks like he's kind of backed off that number 1 car here with to be 2 laps remaining here at Dover. But the 2 of Paul Williams tried to hook it up, put it together, and get 1 more shot at Vinny Sansone over here in that number 1. Sansone been hard to beat all night long. 2 laps remaining here at Dover.
White flag for your leader, Ryan Steele. He's got it made. All he's got to do is get through turns 2, 3, and 4, and he's got the win, and he's off and running in the Triple Crown Series. Vinny Sansone, Paul Williams, they're going to stay in line. I don't think Paul has anything for him. Coming out of 4, coming to take the checkered flag. Your winner tonight's going to be Ryan Steele in the 3 car. And in 2nd place, Vinny Sansone. He's going to just beat Paul Williams to the line. Jeffrey Mays, he's going to do a valiant effort, but he comes home in 4th. Brett Reynolds, he's going to round out your top 5.
I'll tell you what a valiant effort by Ryan Steele here tonight, chasing down Vinny Sansone pretty much all night long. Got a funny feeling Ryan Steele just kind of holding back, just biding his time, put it on cruise control and let it roll, and wait for the proper time, wait for that one moment where he can get that hole shot, and he did. He was able to take Vinny Sansone on the bottom, and comes home and picks up the trophy for the night. And like I say, Vinny Sansone in second, Paul Williams third. And I'll tell you what, Jeffrey Mays, I thought he was going to be able to have it hooked up there at the end, but slips back to fourth position, but not a bad night for that number 4 car. But even taking it back further, Leela Wilson, who managed to go down just one lap in that number 10 machine. I still got to get a picture of that and put it up on our website. That's a pretty looking little car down there. But what a night here at Dover. That's going to wrap it up for this series tonight. But I tell you what, like I said, Justin, this is a series that we have been really looking forward to. The Triple Crown, sponsored by Double Clutch and United Short Track Racing Association. And Eddie Walczyk and his boys putting the show on. $2,500 purse, $1,750 of it for the trifecta if you can manage to win all 3 series here on ETV Live. So covering the entire Season 3, check the calendar at etv-eplay.net. But Justin, last thoughts, bud.
Man, I tell you what, this was actually one really good battle and one of the better ones I've seen in the Silver Crown car. Man, the top 4, Ryan Steele, Sansone, Paul Williams, Jeffrey Mays, these guys put on one of the best shows I have seen in a long time. I think Dover lent itself to being the Monster Mile, claimed a few cars that were falling back, but I tell you what, JD, these leaders certainly put on the show with the high banks here at the horse track grounds of Dover, Delaware.
Oh, now we're back. Somebody unplugged the microphone. Somebody unplugged the microphone. But anyway, hey, we're going to wrap it up here from Dover, Delaware. And I'll tell you what, like I said, tune in on Wednesday and Thursday nights. Check the calendar at etv-eplay.net. We got a lot of short track racing. All 3 of the series, the Silver Crown, the Sprint Car, and the Tour Modified. So the Triple Crown of short track racing right here live on ETV Live. We'll catch you next time.